Unit 731, The Human Experiments, History Tried to Bury. Before we start, I need to warn you, this episode is genuinely disturbing. Not in a movie kind of way. Not in a conspiracy theory creepy kind of way. I mean the kind of disturbing that changes the way you look at humanity afterward. Because tonight, we're talking about a real place, a real military facility, a place where thousands of human beings disappeared behind concrete walls and were never seen again. No trials, no names, no graves, just experiments. Experiments so brutal that even decades later people still struggle to believe they actually happened. And honestly, what scares me most about Unit 731 isn't just the violence, it's how organized it was. Doctors, scientists, military officials, educated people, people who went home at night, ate dinner, slept, woke up the next morning, and continued torturing human beings like it was normal office work. That's the terrifying part. Because monsters are easier to understand when they look like monsters. But Unit 731, the people running it looked completely ordinary. To understand Unit 731, we need to go back to the 1930s, before World War II fully exploded. At the time, Japan was rapidly expanding its military power across Asia, and after taking control of northeastern China, Japan established a puppet state called Manchukuo. Today we know the region as Manchuria. Now politically, the world was becoming increasingly unstable. War felt inevitable, and governments everywhere were preparing for it. But Japan wasn't just thinking about conventional warfare. They wanted something bigger, something capable of wiping out enemies quickly and efficiently. And that's when military leaders became fascinated with biological and chemical weapons. You have to remember, World War I had already shown the world how horrifying chemical warfare could be. Gas attacks killed soldiers in minutes. Entire battlefields became death zones. And while much of the world reacted with horror, some military officials looked at it differently. They thought, if it's this effective, why wouldn't we develop our own version? That mindset is important. Because Unit 731 didn't begin with random cruelty. It began with strategic thinking, cold military logic, which honestly makes it even scarier. In 1925, the Geneva Protocol banned biological and chemical weapons. Most countries publicly agreed these weapons were too inhumane. But inside Japan's military leadership, some interpreted the ban differently. They believed, if the world is banning these weapons, then they must be incredibly powerful. And this is one of the darkest patterns in history. Humans often confuse effectiveness with morality. If something works, people start justifying it. In 1935, Japan established a secret research facility in Pingfang, near Harbin, in occupied China. Officially, it was called the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department. Sounds harmless, right? Almost boring. But behind that name was one of the most horrifying facilities in human history, Unit 731. The complex itself was massive, over 150 buildings, surrounded by walls, trenches, and electric fencing. There were laboratories, prisons, operating rooms, storage facilities, secret underground tunnels, everything designed for efficiency, not healing, not medicine, but experimentation. We imagine evil looking chaotic, messy, emotional. But historically, the worst atrocities are often highly organized, structured, administrative. There were schedules, reports, paperwork, budgets, people getting promoted. That's the uncomfortable truth. At the center of Unit 731 was a man named Shiro Ishii, a military doctor. Brilliant, charismatic, ambitious. Before leading Unit 731, he had traveled through Europe and America studying laboratories and medical research systems. But Ishii wasn't interested in saving lives. He became obsessed with biological warfare, and eventually, Japan gave him almost unlimited authority. By the late 1930s, Unit 731 had thousands of staff members, doctors, scientists, engineers, military officers. At its peak, roughly 10,000 personnel were connected to the operation. 10,000 people. Think about that, because when people hear stories like this, they often imagine one evil mastermind. But atrocities this large require participation, not just one monster, an entire system. So where did the human test subjects come from? Basically, everywhere. Chinese civilians, political prisoners, homeless people, children, pregnant women, Russian prisoners, Koreans, Mongolians, even Western prisoners from countries like the United States and Britain. The military police were given broad instructions: bring people. That was it. Not criminals specifically, just human beings. And one detail that really stayed with me was how they removed people's identities. Victims weren't called by name anymore. They were called Maruta, which means logs, wooden logs, not humans, logs. And psychologically, that matters, because almost every genocide or mass atrocity in history begins the same way. Dehumanization. Once people stop seeing others as human, anything becomes possible. Build up. The experiments. What happened inside Unit 731 honestly feels difficult to even describe out loud, because the cruelty goes beyond normal human comprehension. One of the main focuses was disease experimentation. Prisoners were intentionally infected with plague, cholera, anthrax, typhoid, tuberculosis, syphilis, and countless other diseases. Not to cure them, not to help them, but to observe them, to watch the body deteriorate in real time. And then came the part that still shocks historians today: vivisection, which means dissecting human beings while they were still alive. No anesthesia, no pain relief. Because researchers believed anesthesia might affect the results. So people were cut open awake, organs removed, limbs examined, disease progression observed directly inside living bodies. And this is where I need to pause for a second, because I think one of the most dangerous human traits is the ability to normalize anything. If people do something long enough inside a system that rewards it, even horror can start feeling routine. That's terrifying. One of Unit 731's most infamous experiments involved frostbite. Prisoners were taken outside in freezing temperatures, sometimes colder than Antarctica during winter. Their arms would be submerged in ice water until the skin froze solid. Researchers would hit the frozen limbs with sticks. If it made a hollow sound, the freezing was complete. Then they tested different thawing methods: boiling water, open flames, leaving limbs untreated, all while victims screamed in pain, sometimes until they died. There are records describing prisoners clawing at each other in freezing conditions before death. And honestly, what makes these stories even harder to process is that some experiments involved infants, babies. Unit 731 also used prisoners to test weapons directly. People were tied to wooden posts and exposed to bombs, grenades, flamethrowers, chemical sprays, bayonet attacks. Researchers wanted to study how wounds behaved on living bodies, which treatments worked fastest, how long people survived. And I know some people listening might wonder, how could doctors do this? But that's exactly why this story matters. Because education alone does not create morality. History proves that over and over again. The most devastating part was that Unit 731 didn't keep its experiments inside laboratories. They deployed biological weapons into real cities across China: plague-infected fleas, bacteria bombs, disease contamination. Entire regions experienced outbreaks afterward. Historians estimate hundreds of thousands of civilians died because of these attacks. And what's horrifying is how modern this thinking feels. Invisible warfare, disease as a weapon, fear spreading faster than bullets. Even now, that concept terrifies people. When World War II ended, Japan knew the truth about Unit 731 could destroy them internationally, so the military ordered everything destroyed. Buildings burned, documents hidden, prisoners killed, evidence erased. But here's the part that genuinely makes people angry when they learn this story. Many leaders of Unit 731 were never properly punished. Because after the war, the United States became interested in the research data. American officials reportedly offered immunity in exchange for experimental findings, meaning some of the people responsible for these atrocities avoided prosecution completely. And this is my hot take. People love believing history is divided into good guys and bad guys. But real history is messier than that. Governments will condemn atrocities publicly, then privately ask for the data. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union prosecuted several Unit 731 members during war crime trials, but even then, most eventually returned to normal life. Shiro Ishii himself reportedly lived peacefully after the war. No execution, no life sentence, no global reckoning comparable to Nazi leadership, which honestly feels unbelievable considering the scale of suffering. And for decades, Japan barely acknowledged Unit 731 publicly. Many survivors and victims' families spent years being ignored. Official recognition came painfully slowly, even into the 1980s. There was still resistance to fully admitting what happened. And here's the detail that really haunted me. Most of what we know today comes from surviving documents and testimony from perpetrators themselves, meaning this is only the version they admitted to. Think about that. If the confirmed history is already this horrifying, what was never documented? What was destroyed? What did nobody survive to talk about? Unit 731 forces us to confront a very uncomfortable truth about humanity. The greatest horrors in history are not always committed by people who seem evil on the surface. Sometimes they're committed by intelligent people, respected people, professionals, people convinced they're serving a greater purpose. And honestly, that's why this story still matters today. Because the danger isn't just cruelty, it's obedience. It's ambition without morality. It's what happens when human beings become statistics instead of people. 14,000 known victims, not one survivor among the test subjects. And even that number may only represent a fraction of reality. When people say history is important, this is why. Not to memorize dates, but to recognize patterns. Because if humanity was capable of building Unit 731 once, we're capable of creating horrors again. And maybe the scariest part of all is realizing how many ordinary people helped make it possible.